Hello everyone. So,
Pit lane speed
new
limit
week,
is 72
new track,
kilometers
new
per hour.
car.
Limiters still on.
Today
Disengage it.
it's this week, the F3 is at Interlagos. Now I've not personally done the F3 series since Catalonia a few weeks ago. I enjoyed that a lot. Got into a lot of wrecks, which isn't the best thing in the world, but you know, it makes for good television. So, just got the car going now out of the pits, and we're going to try and learn it. I had a look at a track guide online on YouTube, and I went into an online practice session about an hour ago, and saw what the fastest guy in the lobby was doing, and it was a 128. So I think we're going to have a while before we can get... Ignore that. We're going to have a while before we can get anywhere near that. But so I've set up a little test session rather than going into a practice session online and getting caught up with people who are already up to speed. We're going to come into a private test session and try and get a feel of the track, because I only bought the track today. It's the first time I've raced at Interlagos on iRacing. In fact, actually the only F3 race I've done so far is the one at Catalonia I mentioned, and that was a lot of fun. I got 1 or 2 wins there, and I enjoyed it a lot. So from what I can see is that coming into this, you brake about here, and you don't do that. If there's one thing you'll find with me, it's that I'm not afraid to show when I mess up. So we're going to learn together here. If you've never done this series and circuit either. And it's third gear, and you turn in. Apparently, I'm not trying to pretend I'm an expert here. By the way, I've got no idea what I'm doing so far on this track, so that's great. As soon as you come off the throttle, turn. At least going from what I saw. Don't do that. Don't ride the limiter up. Now, the guy I saw who got that 128, he was in that sector there, in that sequence of corners. He was essentially on the limit of what the car could handle, seemingly. He wasn't so much driving the car at that point, he was almost just flying it. He was like, I honestly, I'm not sure I even have that in me. I'm a casual gamer. You know, I'm sitting at my desk that I, you know, do work from, and you know, just my work, my home office desk that I've got my Logitech G29 wheel and pedal set up on. I'm sitting on a little chair. I'm not in a rig at all. You know, I'm a very casual, so we're harder on the brakes this time. That's, well, I wouldn't say, well, it's better than last lap, but not ideal. But we're getting there, and that's the most important thing. The most important thing in life is that you keep learning. And so we're gonna do as many laps as we need to do until we can safely compete online, I'd say. So this feels quicker, right? Sorry I couldn't talk to you going through that sequence. Number one, I wanted to concentrate. Number two, there was a lot of noise coming. in the house all of a sudden. So
That lap was a 132.9.
we've shaved 3 seconds off so far. We're still,
Right, Penny,
I mean that's
ready to
obviously a
watch these
disaster,
track
forget
limits.
that. I way overcooked that. So yeah, we've cut about 3 seconds off from that very first out lap we did. Off the very first full lap we did. And feels good. Feels good, the car feels nice, the setup feels alright. Track, I mean I've raced this track in other games, F1 for instance, for God knows how many years, so I've got a relative understanding of the track itself, but iRacing is a very different, very different beast to driving this on, you know, on a console, on a controller when you're a bit younger. This is a very different beast. But it's good. So we are still though 4 seconds. We've had one obviously clean lap to put in a 132.8. It's basically a 132.9, but we'll call it a 132.8. And we're still 4 seconds off that, well, the benchmark. I mean, realistically, guys, we aren't going to be getting to the 128s, okay? So forget that. Forget 128. That's what that guy got. That's the ultimate benchmark from what I could see in that practice session. Forget that. There's a lot of time left I can find. I can tell that there is, that I'm not the best iRacer in the world, but I've got more in me than a 132.8. So, bit poor on the gears again. You really get through the gears. The last few weeks I've been in the Corvette GTE at Laguna Seca, which I loved. And oh no. Okay, that's all right. As I say, got to learn. Okay, fancy doing some donuts. That's all right. So we'll go again. Yep. So as I was saying, once I got out of the rookies, I did I started iRacing probably 5-6 weeks ago maybe, and as soon as I got out of the rookies, my friend who'd been on iRacing quite a bit longer than me, or in fact much longer than me, about a year, suggested to do the Ferrari Challenge, which happened to be at Alton Park, which was nice because I only had to buy the Ferrari, as Alton Park is of course included in the subscription. And I loved it to bits. I thought it was one of the best game experiences I'd ever had. I picked up a couple of wins and some other podiums, and I absolutely loved it. Then the week after that, that was the first F3 I did, which was at Catalunya on the classic Grand Prix circuit. And I don't know if any of you have done that, but you can just hammer it through the last sector because that chicane's not there. In the turn before the straight is just one sweeping turn. If you go and have a look at the old F1 footage from like the 90s or the early 2000s, you might find it. We need to really get that corner better. We need to nail that first sector. It doesn't help that I'm talking because I'm not fully concentrating, which is naughty of me. But I'm just giving you a brief rundown of my little iRacing history. So yeah, as I say, rookies in the Mazdas. That feels better. Rookies in the Mazdas, Ferrari at Alton Park, F3 at Catalunya on the classic Grand Prix circuit. Went down a gear too low there. And then GTE, I bought the Corvette and did GTE. Would help if I could remember before I start talking about it. We did the GTE. Where did we do first GTE? Can't remember, but I think it was Laguna Seca, and I absolutely loved Laguna Seca. I remember the first time I went on Laguna Seca, I thought I just don't enjoy it. I didn't think I'd like it. The car felt difficult to handle because going from F3 and the Ferrari and the Mazda to the GTE car, the Corvette, learning the braking on that is, you know, it took a while. 131.4. So we're getting the numbers down here, guys, and that's nice. So if we can start nailing this, The braking zone for me there, not so good, but we've managed to get through there. I'd say that's the best we've come through that first little sequence of turns, so center S's. And let's aim for, if we can get down to the 130s, I'd say that would put us safe. We could drive safely online if we get down to the 130s, I reckon. So we're not going to go up to 6th gear here. We're going to come down to 4th and really push it through, and then down and turn earlier here. Not that early, but I don't actually think we got an off track there somehow, and this lap is still going to count. So that's interesting. So we know now that we can come really deep on the bit of a handle through there, but we can come really deep on the apexes through that area there. And already now we're 6 laps in, and the car feels comfortable. I feel comfortable in this car already, and that's good, because I said we're going to learn together, and sometimes you think, well, it's going to be difficult to pick this up, and it is at first, and it does feel uncomfortable, but you know, it's important that you push through it, and once you push through, a 131 almost dead. Now that's what we're talking about, boys. So we're going to push it a little harder now. Now we're going to start pushing it a little harder, not too hard. That's a pity, but we're going down in the fuel now as well. So what we've got, roughly 9 laps left, call it, or left in the tank. Now this is a turn that we've got time to make up. This really is a turn that we can make up time on. So as with the last one, we're not going up to 6th here. Going up to 6th is unnecessary, and we're not even going to brake that early either. So we're going to be light on the brakes, down to 4th gear, and keep it tight there. And then we're going to go down to 2nd this time. Went down one too early again. Need to remember not to do that. And we're almost skating at points around that little sector there. The car does want to step out, and you need to make sure that it doesn't. Make sure you keep hold of it. Come down to 2nd again, and go. And now we're full on the throttle. This is a no lift. We're going no lift.
Sector 2 is
need to get
off your best.
Oh, that felt good until the last little bit, getting over that apex. If we can avoid riding the apex there and almost slide it out. Now, have we made enough time to get into the 130s here? I'm not so sure. I think we messed up a little bit, we'll see. No, we're quite a bit off. So, hard, 3rd, turn in, big. And then again, not bad. There's still time to be made there. I think that's the hardest part. The center S's, I know they're not meant to be easy, but I am struggling still to pick up some time there. And we're going to come hard, 3rd, push through. So we've got a purple in the first sector. That's what we like to see. We love a purple. But now we need to make sure we keep it tight through the rest of this lap. Off the throttle, turn in, down to 4th, throttle, turn, 2nd gear. So we got that bit right. Could have taken some more apex there and there, but we're going to get back on the throttle as early as is comfortable. 2nd gear again, turn in, nice, that's good, that's better. So we've got another purple, and now we're going to hit it. Oh, this feels better, another purple, guys, come on. 4 sectors, 3 purples, that's what we like to see. Let's hope we didn't lose too much time in the grey sector. This has got to be a 130. Lovely. Now that is how we do it. That's how we do it. A 130.451. So I wanted to get down to the 130s, and that actually seems to have been a little bit of a underestimation. I think we can easily get into the 129s, but we need to get that first sector quicker. The center S's, we can do that whole sector better than that, definitely. So we've messed that up. We've turned in too late, too quick. So that's a pity. So this lap might be scrubbed, but we're not going to give it up. And now we are going to give it up. That's a complete botch.
Watch the track limits.
But the important thing now is when something like that happens, when things are going well, and all of a sudden you let the mistakes creep back in. The most important thing is that you get your head back together, get back on the track safely, especially in a race situation, and go again. So even if one of the most important things, I think, especially when you're new on iRacing, or in fact anything really in life, is if something does go against you, the most important thing is that you get yourself together. You don't want to go interfering with someone else's races, even if it's not your fault. If someone else has clattered into you, let it go. Let it go. Protest at the end of the race if it's protestable, but let it go. Get your head down and make sure you get yourself back in the game. Don't know whether that's better than what we've done or not. We'll see. I mean, as we're getting through our fuel now, of course we are going to get lighter in our times. If as long as we keep hitting them how we can, the times should drop. Now that felt good. You can really push this car. I noticed this in Catalonia as well. You can really push the car. You can really make it almost skate. At certain points. See, again, in that sector we keep going down to first gear, and it's because I'm expecting us to be in fifth at that point now. We're in a purple again, so let's try and nail this now. Ah! What a pity. What a pity. I don't know. I think if we added those sectors together, that probably wouldn't have been better than what we've done so far. But that's the problem, is that when you're in this sort of situation, you want to try and maximise your gains. There is that risk of throwing it in too hard. But this is what practice is for. And as I said at the start, we're learning this from scratch, essentially. And I think we can be proud of what we've done so far. That's a struggle. This sequence here is a struggle, I'd say, because it feels like, from my perspective, it's difficult to turn in as quickly as you want. You want to carry a lot of pace through there, but it is very tight. It's quite a deceptive corner. This corner, though, I really quite enjoy. We're braking a little after is it the 50 board or the 100 board there? Whatever the last board is that I think is the last board there. And this sequence as well I enjoy a lot. And it's a pity that I can't remember the guy's name who I'd watched in that online lobby, because I learned how to do that from him. And that even though he had no idea I was watching him. Jose, I think his name was Jose. Jose, if you're out there and you were the quickest in whatever practice lobby that was, thanks for your help there, pal. Oh, see, again, that's another one, much like the first turn, or the first sequence of turns. That again, you really need it, you've got to throw it in. And when it sticks, it works. And when it doesn't stick, it's a complete disaster. So we've got 4 more laps. Let's try and get something good. So 131 again, that's not too bad, is it?
Time was 131.0. You're currently 0.6 off your best.
We can really throw it through there. When you're at the right, there's a sweet spot, I think, in the F3, that as long as you don't push it beyond its maximum limit, you can really sling it through a lot of the turns. Not only on this track, but anywhere. You can really slide it through a lot of these sectors. That's poor. We pushed too hard there, but that's fine. So again, it's 1, 2. Yes. That felt good, guys. This doesn't feel good. But the guy who I saw, he really pushed it. Really, really, really pushed it through there. Okay, that felt a bit nicer. I feel like this is that thing I mentioned before, and you know, perhaps don't take my word for it. You know, I'm an amateur, I'm a casual sim racer. This is my little hobby. But it feels like at certain parts of this track there is a sweet spot, especially the first sector and the last sector. That's not so bad, guys.
Your lap time was at 1:30.5. Sector 3 times okay.
Now that felt the quickest we've done so far. Let's see if this is purple at the end of the sector. But that felt good. And if it is purple, then we need to nail the rest of this. So it is a purple. And I'm not convinced that we nailed it immediately after. So so we'll see. Just keep it in fifth here. Light dab of the brakes. Turn in, 4th gear, push. That felt late on the throttle there, but that's okay. Oh, way too deep, but we'll see. Trying to hold it there a little bit. We've definitely lost time. Maybe the lower fuel can help us out, but I don't think this is going to be one of our best laps. Should be a 1:30, should be in the 1:30s, but this isn't going to be one of our best. Oh, that's close.
You've just done a 1:30.6. You're now 0.1 slower than your best.
So we can really bring it down there, can't we? And okay, now that's interesting. So you can really come across there, really push and slide through there. And it's important as well to learn the track limits, because of course you need to maximise everything you can. Okay, so we're quicker in the first sector again. As long as we get this right, we could be on for a decent one. No! Oh no! That would have been in the 129s, I think. If we'd have held that together in the last sector, done as well as we can do, that would have been in the 129s. That's a disappointment. That's my bad, guys. So, that is a pity. You might well notice that we don't have damage. I've turned damage off because, of course, you know, if you're learning the track, you don't really need the damage on. But that's a pity, guys, because that felt good. That felt good. First sector felt reasonably quick, but now we're going to try and hit that first sector again. Okay? Hit it hard. Push the limits with regards to the track, and let's see what we can do. I lifted there, maybe I didn't need to, we'll see. Okay, so purple first sector, I'm not quite so sure we're hitting that as well as we can. The first sector as well, but I did actually mean the second. Oh, we've gone deep there. We've gone very deep, late on the throttle as well, so we've lost time. just about held it together there. A little bit sideways action, but that's okay, and there too, but that's okay, we've held it.
1 litre remaining.
Oh, we've gone wide. We've gone really wide there. That's unfortunate again. So we don't have a full lap left. That's unfortunate. So we're going to come in now. This is the first time I've driven into the pits on Interlagos on here. So we're going to have to see where the... Okay, the cones are up here, that's fine.
Watch your speed. Box in 280
So,
meters.
not going to get a pit lane speeding penalty, which is nice. Don't know if you guys saw my last video. You'll see an utter disaster I had at Laguna Seca
50 meters.
IMSA series in the Corvette. It was all going so well, and it ended up as a disaster. So I'm going to end that video here. The next video I make on this of this series F3 at Interlagos will be in the race. I think we can be comfortable because we're really pushing the limits there on after what 15 laps, 16 laps. And perhaps we were pushing it a little too hard towards the end, but of course you want to do that. You want to get that feel for the car and make sure you can you know, get the most out of it, especially when you're learning a track. It's good to push. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Please follow me on Instagram. My name is Quantum95Gaming. I'm posting there multiple times a day. Really good community of followers I've managed to gain on there. And it's great interacting with you all, and I absolutely love it. So please follow me on there and like and subscribe on YouTube for more content coming very soon, okay? Thank you guys, bye.